Senior lawyer Ozekhome disagrees with ex-president Obasanjo over oil belongs to Nigeria, not Niger Delta statement. Welcome to the news, and thank you for tuning in to listen. Obasanjo had in a 6-page letter to Niger Delta elder Chief Edwin Clark noted that the constitution did not confer ownership of oil and other mineral resources on any of the regions. So in case you are not following, let me say this to you. There was a trade of words between the former president of Nigeria and the person of Obasanjo, Olusegun, and Chief Clark Edwin. Okay, so a lot of things were said. And I think other people are now coming to reply. But in all in all, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former governor of Nigeria, he came out and he said that resources in a state are not state-owned. That is, if, let's say for instance, a state has gold, for instance, a state has gold, that means the resources is not owned by that state. The gold is not owned by that state. So, I think it did not sit well. Of course, it is not going to be sitting well. Can you be telling me that gold that is in my house is not my own? I'm not going to even find it funny. And even what brought about all this thing, I'm sure, is about how Niger Delta is. How Niger Delta is. How can you have things in your state, and yet your state is one of the most, it's one of the least treated well state. If you go to that state that has oil, Niger Delta, they mess up the whole place. No. They mess up the whole place. So I think everything was coming from a point of view, I have something in my state, you come, you take it, you do anything that you like with it, you make money from it, yet you're telling me it is not state-owned. So Mr. Ozekhome is now addressing the issue. Let's listen to the reply. Now the news in detail. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Chief Mike Ozekhome, has disagreed with former President Olusegun Obasanjo over a statement that Niger Delta cannot lay claim to the crude oil found in the region. Obasanjo had in a 6-page letter to Niger Delta elder Chief Edwin Clark noted that the constitution did not confer ownership of oil and other mineral resources on any of the then regions. He insisted that just as the Niger Delta's oil belongs to the Nigerian Federation, the minerals in other part of the country also belong to the country. Reacting in a statement sent to Sahara reporters, Ozekhome said a law that literally steals the resources of a people, punishing them with destruction of their only available aquatic and agrarian life, even though in the statute books is a bad, aberrant and obnoxious law. The lawyer said the Niger Delta region has been repressed, suppressed, marginalized and neglected. The statement read, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has theorized that the oil and gas found in Niger Delta region belong to the federal government and not to the oil-bearing communities. Legally speaking, Obasanjo can be said to be correct because he was part and parcel of a successful military juntas that cleverly and systematically inserted expropriatory and inhuman laws concerning ownership of oil and gas into our statute books. But does that make such laws right or justifiable? No, I think not. Former President Obasanjo should be told in very clear terms that there is such an overriding principle of law which goes with the maximum of quid, plant at all, solo said it. This literally means that whoever owns the land owns everything on top of it. Any extant constitutional or statutory provision such as those apparently referred to by Obasanjo that run contrary to this commonsensical common law principle are therefore nothing but bad, immoral, exploratory and exploitative laws. Help me inform Obasanjo that Nigeria operates a federal system of government and that federalism is fiscal and plural. One of the major attributes of federalism is that it ensures that regions, subnational or federating units develop according to their pace and needs, using the God-given resources that are available to such units. They pay tax to the central government. Help me inform President Obasanjo that a law that literally steals the resources of a people, punishing them with destruction of their only available aquatic and agrarian life, even though in the statute book is a bad, aberrant, and obnoxious law. Help me tell Obasanjo that in the USA, since oil was discovered in 1859, a country whose presidentialism and federalism we ape after, oil and gas are not owned by the American federal government, but by the surface owners, while oil and gas offshore are either owned by state or federal government. Help me remind Obasanjo that before the January 15, 1967 first military push led by Major Kaduna Nzogu Chukwuma, neither the cotton, granite, and hide and skin obtainable in the north, the cocoa grown in the west, palm produce in the east, nor the rubber and timber that existed in the then Midwest were said to belong to the federal government. They belonged to the regions that took a lion's 50% share while paying tax to the federal government at the center. What has changed? Nothing, I believe. Help me remind Obasanjo to remember history and that the major reason his 2005 political reform conference failed was because of a rancor and ruckus generated by the thorny and still unresolved controversy of resource control. He should remember that this led to South-South delegates to stage a walkout from the conference. I was not only a civil society delegate, I was actually the head of civil society unit that drafted our final committee report and recommendations. Obasanjo should therefore not have dismissed such a festering thorny issue as oil and gas and bleeding all bearing communities with a wave of a hand in the most provocative and cavalier manner. The 1960 Independence Constitution and the 1963 Republican Constitution had actually activated true physical federalism after the 1957 to 1958 Willings Commission report, which was identified and validated the fears of minority within the Nigerian space. In all of this, I think it is high time that we tell ourselves the truth that we need another constitution. It is long overdue. This one does not in any way reflect the will of a people. On this note, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. And until I come your way next time.